Serena, human champion, noble, lawful good. HP 21, perception plus 4, speed 25 feet. 16 strength, 12 dexterity, 14 constitution, 12 intelligence, 12 wisdom, and 12 charisma. Languages common and elven. Saving throws expert in fortitude plus 7, trained in reflex plus 4, expert in will plus 6. Attacks trained in simple weapons, trained in martial weapons, trained in unarmed attacks. She has a bastard sword, which has a plus 6 to attack and deals 1d8 plus 3 damage. Defense, trained in all armor and also trained in unarmored defense. She wears a chain shirt, which gives her an AC of 16. She also has a wooden shield, which gives her an AC of 18 when she uses the raise shield action. Skills, trained in society plus 4, trained in heraldry lore plus 4, trained in religion plus 4, trained in diplomacy plus 4, trained in athletics plus 6, trained in deception plus 4, trained in medicine plus 4. She is a paladin subset of the champion, so her champion's reaction is a retributive strike. She has 2 font spells, which are special spells that certain classes give you. You have a specific pool of them. She only has a pool of 1. But her 2 spells are Lay on Hands and Dazzling Flash. Lay on Hands comes from the champion class. Dazzling Flash comes from her deity's domain. Her deity is Sarenrae. The domain is Sun. Feats. Ancestry feat, cooperative nature, gives her a plus 4 on checks to aid. Her skill feat is courtly graces. She has a champion feat called Deity's Domain, the Sun, which is where Dazzling Flash comes from. And she has 2 general feats. One is Shield Block, I don't remember where that comes from. I think that's a champion thing. Her other general feat, Toughness, comes from her versatile heritage subset of the human ancestry. Equipment, 6 gold pieces, 1 silver pieces, 0 copper pieces. Chain shirt, wooden shield, bastard sword, backpack, bedroll, chalk, clothing, flint and steel, bullseye, lantern, religious symbol, rope, sack, and soap. Overall, she has 4 bulk out of 8. Serena is one of my characters from a game that happened a couple years ago. She is a paladin, so at first I was a little bit concerned. I'm looking at the book. The book's over here. At first I was a little bit concerned when I was looking through the classes and I didn't see paladin, but they had a class called champion, which is what they did with the paladin. Because the paladin is a subset of champion. There are 2 other subsets of champion, which are the Redeemer and the Liberator. They're all good aligned. The Redeemer is neutral good and the Liberator is chaotic good. And what they do is basically what their names say they do. So the Redeemer tries to help people and the Liberator frees people. They all have different tenets and codes of honor and things like that. But she's a paladin because that's what she is. Her sword and shield are something that I gave her as I was making her in this system. Normally, what I would do is I would give her a greatsword. But I gave her a shield because paladins get a shield ability, just base. They get like a think they get shield. I think they get, yeah, they get shield block. I said shield block came from somewhere. It comes from like the base paladin, or the base champion set. They get shield block, which basically means when you use your action in your turn to raise your shield, you get to add your shield bonus to your AC, because normally you don't if you don't raise your shield. It's one of the three actions you can do. So let's say you attack, and then you raise your shield as your three actions. Um, when your shield is raised, you add your bonus to AC. Um, but if the attack still hits regardless, you can attempt a shield block, which the damage dealt by the attack is first reduced from the HP that the shield has. And all shields have a certain HP and a damage threshold. When they lose HP, there's a chance that they will break, and if they reach the damage threshold, they break. Um, so I gave her a shield because they get that ability, and so I just figured that then she would have a shield. But I could have given her a great sword if I wanted, but I would not have made use of one of just the general abilities that they get. So it seems, just from the way the class is written, that they intend you to use a shield, which I always thought was just sort of something in the cleric, that the stereotypical cleric, was intended to be used with a shield. Maybe clerics get something similar. I don't know. I haven't looked at the cleric class, but the champion class has that, so I decided to use it. Um, she has a bastard sword because you could versatile it. So if she wanted, she could turn it into basically a great sword. It does d8 damage one-handed. It does d12 damage two-handed. And I think, from when I was looking before, great swords in this game do d12 damage. They don't do 2d6 damage. So if that is the case, then a bastard sword can double as a one-handed sword and a two-handed sword, which is good. It's what a longsword was in the actual medieval ages anyway. Um, so that's just a nice general thing to have. So yeah, a little bit about Serena. Um, she has the noble background because she was born in a noble family. Typically, the family that the name I give the family is Natalin. So her name is Serena Natalin, and she was sort of like the youngest child of this noble family, and so she was brought up in the sort of courtly life, lesser courtly life. Her family is not very big or important. They're just some lesser lords who have like a small piece of land, and who try to go off and do some politicking to increase their status. And she was the lesser child, but she wasn't really interested in that. She went to the church and trained to become, and there, when she was at the church, she trained to become a warrior and became a paladin. And so that's the idea. It's nothing outrageous or overly creative. When I made her, I just wanted, that was just the character I was going for. The most interesting part of her was that she was a noble, and so in the game that I played with her, that came into practice sometimes when she had to do things that only a noble might know or would understand. Which they actually have a thing for. When you choose the noble background, you get the courtly graces skill feat, which basically means that you can interact with nobles. Is this what the feat says? There's a specific thing the feat says that you can do. You can use the society skill. You can make a roll to, they say, like, have an effect on a noble or something like that. Um, so yeah, that's basically what I would have her do in the game I played her. So I think it's kind of neat that they facilitate that in the rules. Not necessary per se, but they do it anyway. So it's not something you need, but it's a nice thing to have. So yeah, that's Serena, an overview of the character and a little bit about her.